If you've ever wondered why you work hard, earn a decent wage, but still feel like you're just barely getting by financially, it's not you. Ireland has experienced a ridiculous, absurd cost of living increase in recent years, and wages just haven't followed suit. In this video, we're going to break down 5 money stats relevant to Ireland to show why people are so stretched even though they're doing everything right. If you're new here, my name's Cian. I'm a CFA chartered holder and qualified financial advisor. If you like the content, please make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on valuable financial tips. Let's hop into it. Stat number 1, the real income. So you might hear people saying, oh, he's earning 60,000 a year, she's on 80,000, they're on 100,000 per year. But in reality, the median salary for an individual in Ireland is about 44,000 or 45,000. That's the median. So half people earn more than this and half people earn less than this. The mean would be a bit higher because that's distorted by a few very high earners. Here's what earnings actually look like by age. So if you're aged between 25 and 34, the average earnings is about 38,000 euro. If you're between 35 and 44, the average is 48,000 euro. So after tax, this works out at 2,200 to 2,600 euro if you're in your late 20s or early 30s. And it works out at 2,800 to 3,200 euro if you're in your late 30s or early 40s. So as you can see, if you're paying rent of, say, 1,500 per month, it doesn't leave a lot to cover bills, transport, food, living expenses in general. The takeaway is you're not actually behind. You're just comparing yourself with something that isn't actually true. Stat 2, rent is eating your paycheck alive. If you're renting in Ireland at the moment, you're dealing with some of the highest housing costs in Irish history. Ireland is second highest rental costs in the EU, second only to Luxembourg. Landlords are selling up and leaving the market, which reduces supply, and also planning has stopped many developments at source. In February this year, an apartment scheme of 176 units, the planning was denied because it didn't have enough space for arts and culture. In May of this year, a planning for an apartment scheme of 823 units in Cork was denied because it didn't fit in with proper planning and sustainable development in the area. And just this week, I read about planning for a 580 unit apartment scheme in North Dublin, which was denied because of a Canadian goose that migrates here in the winter. Just like common sense has just gone out the window. All of this contributes to decrease in supply, which increases prices. Also, rent has risen far faster than income. Since 2010, the rents have increased by 115% on average. And in that time, wages have increased by just about 35%. So that means rents are increasing 3 times faster than wages. No amount of budgeting and planning can offset that. Young renters are hit the hardest. 1 in 3 renters under 35 say housing stops them saving any money at all. This explains why over 50% of people under 35 still live at home, and many decide to not have families, and then also emigration becomes a financial decision, not a lifestyle decision. The takeaway, if money feels tight, it's not because you're bad at money, it's because the system has failed. Stat 3, about 47% of Irish people could not afford a 1,000 euro emergency expense. In 2016, that number was 37%. So in 9 years, it's increased by 10%. This is not because people are suddenly bad with money. It's because cost of living expense has gone through the roof. So when something normal happens, like car repair, broken boiler, or a dental bill, nearly half of people have to dig in to use credit cards, overdrafts, family loans, personal loans. This is not an issue of financial responsibility. The issue is rent pressure, childcare costs, car finance, food prices, taxes, all of it. So the takeaway is, if you don't have money set aside, it's not a failure. It's just the reality of the environment we live in. The first step in financial stability is building that back pocket fund. It's not investing. Make sure you have that back pocket fund. Even saving 20 to 30 euro a week will stand to you in the long run. It's about security first and then growth second. Stat 4, time in the market beats timing the market. You may have heard this one before, but let's say if you invested 10,000 euros in the S&P 500 30 years ago, that would grow up to 88,000 euros today. But what if you missed the 10 best days during that 30-year period? Your amount of return would half. You'd be down to 44,000 euros. Looking at those 10 days, 5 of them came just after a price downturn, which means people saw the price downturn and panicked and sold and then missed out on the rebound afterwards. Every year, the average drop from peak to trough is about 14%. Every 10 years, the drop is usually up to 35%. So volatility is normal. Yet the long-term average is usually 10% per year. The dips are not failures, they're just part of the process. So the takeaway is, if you want to earn compound growth over time, stay invested, even when it feels uncomfortable. And finally, stat number 5, the financial literacy gap is real. According to the OECD, Ireland is below average in financial numeracy. Only 56% of people could correctly calculate the interest on savings, and only 53% could understand how inflation diminishes your purchasing power over time. This means that 1 in 2 Irish adults are making financial decisions without the education to evaluate them. And this isn't because people are careless. It's not because people are bad with maths or don't understand numbers. It's simply because we were not educated about this in school. In school, we were taught about geometry and Shakespeare and Irish grammar, but we were never taught how to calculate a mortgage, how to calculate interest on savings, about inflation, about pensions, all that. None of it was taught to us in school. The good news is you don't need to be a finance expert. You don't need a degree. You don't need to be one of those investment people. You just need to learn one skill each week. Just think, what would you like to learn a bit more about? Whether it's inflation, compound interest, anything like that. The gap isn't intelligence, it's just education, and you can close that gap gradually over time. And the way forward is small, consistent steps. So build a back pocket fund, invest a little bit every month consistently, and try and learn like one money skill every week. Just slow, steady progress over time makes a big difference. In the next video, we're diving deeper into everyday traps that keep people from progressing. So if you want to understand the system and learn how to navigate it better, make sure you're subscribed. We do this together. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.